Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If you haven't joined one of our previous webinars, my name is Bethany Spaeth, and I am the Director of Implementation here at PrestoSports. Welcome to the third of our 4 webinars in our summer webinar series. Today, along with myself, we have Jaleesa Gray joining us from our design and marketing team. Today, we will be covering how you can elevate your athletic departments or programs by using PrestoShots. Before we officially dive in, though, let's cover a few housekeeping tips. If you have any questions during today's presentation, please feel free to enter them in the Q&A box. If your question does not get answered during today's session, please know that we'll follow up with you personally following today's presentation. But there will be some time set aside at the end to go through what we can. Additionally, we will have a few poll questions throughout today's presentation. Please be sure to submit your responses in the pop-up window. Last piece of housekeeping, the webinar is being recorded and will be shared with you in the next few days. As mentioned, we are honored to have Jaleesa Gray join with us here in our virtual studio to shed some light on this fascinating topic. As a longstanding member of the PrestoSports team, Jaleesa has been instrumental in the designing of multiple PrestoSports products, but in particular, Presto Web and PrestoShots. Jaleesa has a keen eye for aesthetics and is always up to date with the latest design trends, which enables her to create innovative and visually stunning designs. So, to start, we're going to first review why are graphics important to social media as well as your brand. Social media is an incredibly powerful tool that can do wonders for your athletic programs. With the potential to reach an unlimited audience, if utilized effectively, you can greatly enhance your program's reputation and visibility both locally as well as nationally. By utilizing social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you can connect with your target audience and promote your program's events, achievements, and news. This not only helps to attract new fans and supporters, but also helps to engage with your current followers and keep them up to date with all of the latest happenings. Consistent branding on your website and social media outlets offers numerous benefits, but a few we're going to call out today are as follows. First off, graphics connect your brand and the audience. It offers transparency. Graphics have the power to establish that connection between your brand and the audience. This includes all of your followers as well as future customers. Through social media, programs can offer fans a level of transparency that is hard to come by on other marketing channels. Consequently, this provides both existing and potential fans with an opportunity to get better acquainted with the players, the teams, and the programs as a whole. It can also help with increasing game and event awareness and attendance. By utilizing graphics to promote your events via emails, updating schedules, or ensuring that your social media channels accurately reflect when major events will take place, you can increase awareness and engagement around this. This in turn can lead to more people purchasing tickets, arranging time off from work or other life events, making the means necessary to attend your events or games. Last but not least, you can use statistics to emphasize the performance of both the programs and the players. Programs and players demonstrate exceptional skills and talent, and they have demonstrated so in impressive stats they've achieved. These stats can be highlighted using graphics, allowing for easy comparison with other teams in the league, division, state, or even the entire nation. This visual representation of success and is an effective way to showcase your accomplishments. Okay, I am going to go and pop up our first of our polls today. So I'll give everyone a little bit to answer that. So the first question, how frequently do you post your graphics on social media? So I know everybody's a little bit different. Okay, we can go ahead and close that poll. Right. Okay, so most people are falling in that 1 to 3 times per week, and then followed up with 1 to 3 times per day. So, okay, perfect. Great. So now we're going to jump over and talk about some of the features, functionality, specifically around PrestoShots as an infographics provider. PrestoShots visual power is integrated into the PrestoSports Super Suite solution. What this means is you can publish live data to social media or your website with these custom graphics, complete with your brand, colors, logos, and other graphics, and share with fans anywhere at any time. I'll jump into a few specifics of the integration. The first one to talk about is the integrated schedule. The integrated schedule works with PrestoStats and Presto Web CMS. What this means is you're only entering your schedule once. Then, from within PrestoShots, you select a game from the schedule, all of your existing information, including the opponent, game time, will pre-populate into the template. Next is the integrated in-game and post-game stats. Integrated stats save you time and effort while quickly producing scroll-stopping shots. As you can see on the screen, a few of these graphics are either during the game or after the game and are pulling in the scores, the opponents, all directly from the Presto CMS system. This allows you to create those graphics on the fly and produces them in seconds to help with that mid-game update. Integrated rosters. With the integration with the rosters into Presto Web and PrestoStats, you can immediately select the game just like you would the same way for your schedule or your in-game graphics, select the event, and select the roster lineup. It'll pull in the name, number, and image if those are uploaded and stored in Presto CMS. Again, cutting down on that time it takes you to create any of these types of graphics. Okay. The last integration piece, or feature I should say, is the ability for all of our templates to be animated. So we do have some specific templates that are set up specifically for video, but additionally, you can turn any of PrestoShots still graphics into an animation. So this might be for Reels, it might be to including your live streaming, maybe a story on one of your social media platforms, or even in your in-arena screen. Okay, so now Jaleesa is going to walk through a few different content ideas for PrestoShots. So again, we're gonna pop up a quick poll while she gets started. Okay, David, you can take down that poll.
All right, I hope everyone had a chance to enter in their answers. We're going to go ahead and jump into some content ideas. All right, let's talk content ideas. With PrestoShots' very vast template library, you will have the opportunity to create social graphics such as ticket sales, player stats, special upcoming events, fundraising updates, final scores, and team standings. Select from one of the many templates and make it your own. Feel free to edit and customize each template to your needs. Our templates are simply a guide as well as an inspiration for you to create your very own. All right, so the next focus is going to be player performance. Showcase players' performance throughout the season with the following content ideas: athlete or athletes of the week, player of the game, offensive or defensive players of the week, top performers of the season. Next focus, highlight academics. Throughout the year, recognize the outstanding team's performance outside of athletics by creating content such as team GPA highlights, top academic player of the season, spotlight athletes who play multiple sports, team social media takeovers, community outreach and volunteering, or highlight academic awards and personal achievements. Next, showcase your stats. Use stats to highlight the program and players. Compare your top stats to other leagues or others in the league, division, state, or nation. Highlight things like longest kick return in the state this past Friday night. Create graphics that let the numbers do the talking. Next focus, show off your team's new equipment or gear. Introduce or highlight your team's latest equipment and uniform. Did your team recently get new helmets, shoulder pads, or jerseys? Take a picture or video to show to your fans and supporters, as well as give a big thanks to your sponsors who helped make it all happen. Furthermore, if you're looking for other ways to highlight your sponsors, check out our upcoming webinar, Strategize Sponsorship, featuring Bethany Spaeth, August 8th at 2:30 p.m. We'll be sending a follow-up email that will have more details about that as well. Next focus is spotlight coaches. Introduce and highlight existing and new coaches. Create get-to-know graphics with fun facts about each team coach. Maybe ask them questions like, what's their favorite movie, their favorite vacation spot, if they have any spouse or children, or what their favorite thing is about the game or the sport. Showcase motivational coach or quotes by coaches. Next focus, alumni. Showcase alumni by taking a walk down memory lane. Create content like showcasing where they are now. Highlight alumni who are still in collegiate sports by giving updates on their latest achievements. Maybe advice from alumni or past awards and achievements. Figure out what their favorite thing about the program was when they played. Signing day. Introduce your newest signees. Showcase your new signees for the upcoming season. Highlight their accomplishments, or simply create content centered around getting to know the signee by gathering info like where their hometown is, position, height, weight, and so on. Lastly, major team announcements. Keep the school and supporters up to date with the latest news by creating graphics like breaking news or team announcements. Use this to announce practice changes, upcoming important dates, facility changes, and etc. All right. So in conclusion, we'd like to take the remainder of this time to answer any questions you may have.
Actually, Jaleesa, I'm going to jump in. Sorry. We're going to do one more pop-up poll, and then I'll jump into the Q&A. Give everybody a second. While that is, while people are answering that, I'll jump into a question that came in from Dan. So how does the PrestoShots integration work? I have 3 fall schedules loaded into Presto, but not seeing the options for the integration. So Dan, My assumption is we just need to turn on that integration, and I'll take it as a follow-up. Actually, Josh, are you able to look real quickly and maybe see if Dan, you can figure out what's happening with his account from there?
Yeah, I can look real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, we have to basically attach them if they are not attached. So let me see if I can look at it.
Oh, and Eddie Arnett have a. I'm gonna make some notes just in case we can't get to everybody who is sending in about the integration. All right. The next one came in from Doug, and he is asking on cost and / how many on staff can have access. So following today in that follow-up email, we'll link you directly to our Shopify page. There are 3 different package options, and at each tier comes with a few different added benefits. So we're a little more limited on the number of users, say at the basic tier, compared to the top tier. The price increases at each level, but so does the functionality. So additional users, things like the background removal tool, depending on kind of depend on which option you want to go with. So it is, and we do through PrestoShots. Like I said, you can purchase it right online. My team gets an email and they'll get you set up, typically within 24 to 48 hours. All right, Alan, April. Okay, well, you will look here. Okay. We had another question come in. How does my team branding get set up in PrestoShots? Do you want to take that one, Jaleesa?
Yes. When you set up your PrestoShots account, you can go to your team settings and upload your logo, team colors, fonts, and social links. Once you update your team information, you can immediately start creating graphics that automatically pull in your team branding, allowing you to create graphics within seconds.
And what about my opponent logos, Jaleesa? Do I have to upload those as well, or are those already in there?
You can upload those within your media file and then pull those into the graphic of your choice.
Is there a filtering system? How do I streamline down to some of the examples that you shared?
Yes. So you're able to filter within our template library based off of the size, whether you have something geared towards like an Instagram story, Twitter, or more of like the 1:1 ratio. You also can filter by sports. Obviously, different sports call for different types of graphics. So we have that filtering, and then as well as the content. So whether it be post game, like in-game, or just like a player performance or player highlight, you have those different categories that you can choose from.
Any other questions today? Anything else? I have the list. Dan, Blair, Eddie, and Alan. We're going to follow up, check out all 3 of your accounts just to make sure that integration is enabled. But any other questions from anyone today? Okay, well, I hope everyone will join us 3 weeks from today for our final of our summer webinar. Oh, who do I talk to about an invoice? Andrew, I will get our controller to reach out to you, and they'll help you with what you need. And like I said, 3 weeks from now, feel free to join us on our sponsorship webinar. I'm really excited about it. Started pulling together that content today. We'll be covering the full use of the Presto products. Oh, one more question came in. Oh, two more questions. Okay. Brandon Smith, what is the maximum size for the graphics? Julissa, are there size limits on those?
Not that I know of, as long as the ratio is pretty proportionate.
I can answer that a little bit better.
Okay.
The maximum size is not determined by PrestoShots itself. It is actually determined by your computer and what it can handle. For example, you can go up to images as big as 4,000 by 4,000 pixels, but it's a matter of how much RAM you have on your computer and how much your browser can support. If you go up to 4,000 by 4,000 and you have no issues within the browser or the software, then you can use images of that size. But if you go up to that size and you start to notice your browser is running slow, there starts to be issues with your display going in and out as far as on the screen and your browser freezing, then you know you probably need more RAM. So it's not a determination of the software itself because it runs on your client, your local client. It's actually a limitation of your computer itself. So to answer that question, the only thing I could say is try whatever size you want to try and see if it works.
Josh, because we have time, somebody asked if we could quickly show how to animate a graphic. You don't happen to have score shots up, do you?
Give me just a second. I'll have to bring it up. If you wanna, if there's any other answers or questions.
There was another question.
Get it up.
Yeah, another question just came in. If you design a piece of content, does it automatically resize to suit various dimensions for different social media platforms? Julissa, do you want to touch on that? I know it has them pre-populated, the different dimensions, but do you want to talk about how they resize?
Yes, you have the capability to edit the size at the top left corner when you get into the editor towards the dimensions that you prefer. However, when it does resize, if let's say you have a larger image and you're going to something smaller, you're going to have to readjust the components, whether it be like the text a little bit closer together to fit that new adjustment that you made.
Thanks. Oh, okay. Another question came in. Julissa, so this one again is kind of your alley. How often are new templates created? We'll start with that one.
So we have new templates every month. We usually are releasing it in something called a family pack, which means that each graphic has the same aesthetic carried out within the family pack. So you're looking at either 3 graphics to 4. And we kind of gear those family packs towards, a general approach of like an in-game or post-game, a game preview, and then a player highlight, or we'll switch it up. But mostly you see a game preview and a like stats graphic, because those are our most popular ones. But you'll see new family packs coming in monthly.
We had 2 other parts to that question, which I think are going to be Josh questions. When will graphics be able to download it in high resolution?
That's another one of those maximum sizes. It all depends on what your computer can handle. I can only say try the size, see if it works for you. I've seen people go a max of 9,000 pixels without any issues on newer computers that are built for, let's say, heavy gaming, just because of the video graphics that computer's able to support. It's able to handle those larger graphics within the software. So it is able to make those larger images if your computer is able to make those, to handle that. The only thing I can say is try. I will say, once you go over roughly 2,000 to 3,000, that's when things start to bog down if you don't have enough RAM or your video card is integrated onto your computer. But you can try it and see if it supports it. We have looked at other alternatives as to where you would have your image a lower resolution as you're editing it and then downloading it to a high-res version. That's something we're looking into, but we have not implemented yet. And I'm not sure who's sharing your screen, but if you can close that so I can open mine.
Yeah.
All right. Can we see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so there's multiple ways to do video. You can come in here. And let's say you want this right here can actually be a video. So any image, any template can actually turn into a video template by just adding a video. So we're going to come in here. We're going to select our videos. We're going to add, let's say, one of these videos and put it here. And then all we have to do, I'm covering my share button, is hit share and it'll make that video. Now, this does take time. It can be up to a minute, sometimes longer on the longer slide stories that we have. But give it just a moment. What will happen is it'll start counting down, and usually a few seconds after it's done counting down, it'll be finished. Yeah, depending on the size of the video, this can take usually, up to a minute. Slide stories themselves, when you're dealing with multiple slides, multiple animations, can be about a minute and a half. If you add video to those instead of just images, it can be, 2 minutes. But it does make them on the fly, and you don't have to add them to a queue and wait, 30 minutes or whatever to make these. There it is. So pretty much you can make any image template into a video just by adding a video. All right. Next, you can actually add, let's start over. And let's select that same one. So we're going to come in here. We're just going to go ahead and add an image. Send this guy. Okay. You can actually add effects to templates. Let's say you want, let's say confetti. Okay. And now this will turn this into a video also. So we're going to hit share. And it will add that confetti effect to the image and make it a video. There's a couple other effects, not just like fireworks and confetti and things like that. There's also, you can do a fade. You can do a slide from the side. There's also a still video option. For example, if your school, a lot of times those TVs that are in the classrooms and, out in the hallways, they can't just display an image. It has to be a video. Within those systems. So people will come in here and make an image and just hit still image for 30 seconds and then be able to add that video to that PA system that's on the TVs within the school. Because a lot of them don't actually support images. You have to add video.
Josh, I think a few more technical questions came in.
Yeah, we can answer those as these things are being built.
Yeah. One more in relation to some of that size question. He was wondering, as in, will all graphics be a square such as 200 by 200, or is there a rectangle graphic? So yeah, so any graphic can be resized. So that's what Jaleesa was referring to. So any of the graphics, there's some pre-designated sizes in there, and you can adjust any to the sizing that you want. Like she said, you might have to adjust some of the components slightly to get it to fit that new size, but any of them can be adjusted. Even when you look in our library, you'll see some that are vertical, some that are horizontal, square. So depending on, you can even filter by it. I'm assuming that's what Josh is going to. So you can see on the
I can
left-hand
actually
side.
show you. I can show you real quick. Like if you want to take this square one, and you decide you want to resize it. Let's say you want to do a Twitter post instead. You can resize them. Most of them resize fairly well. There are some, like if you decide to go from a landscape to a portrait, you may have to come in here and edit some of these components or move them around. But most of them do resize fairly well. So you are able to resize them however you want. And it can be, as far as high res or larger images, you can do, 4,000 by 2,000 or however you see fit. Really, it depends, again, on your browser and your computer if it can support it. You can try a 10,000 by 10,000, but there's very few computers that can support that within a web browser application. One last thing, slide stories. I went ahead, you get the gist on making the video out of still images. So I'm going to create a slide story. Give me just a second here.
While you're working on that, Josh, one question that came in was about our help documents. So we do have a section on the Help Center. You can click right on PrestoShots. There's a number of step-by-step information. Also, when you log into PrestoShots for the first time, there's additionally, when you log in for the first time, it'll actually prompt you to go through a whole tutorial. So all of that is located in both of those places.
Okay, so we'll come in here to one of these. Now, you probably noticed that every time I come into one of these, it always has the purple color and this, the light, like teal color. Just so you know, these will be your school colors. It'll automatically put in your colors based on what you do during account setup. So, if you have a dark blue, that's your primary color, that's the color that will automatically load on these templates. Our colors are primarily purple, and then secondary is that teal color, and that's why you're seeing that on me. All right, so let's go ahead and add in real quick. We're going to add in our. So this is what you call our slide stories. This is where you can come in and the whole thing is animated. It has, stuff coming on the left, the right, everything. So I was trying to find a background. We'll just add in one of these. All right, and we'll come down to graphics. We'll say logos. And this is kind of placed, I don't know if you noticed, but it's steps. So you start with your background, you add your background, go down to graphics, you add your logo. Every template is made like that. So you can just kind of go down the line, do what you want to do. You can come in and select your text. We're going to put in 12 and 14. Okay. And we're going to hit share. Now, what this is doing now is it's coming in and it's making the slide story. As I said, slide stories take a little bit longer to make because of all the animation, the graphics. but usually it's about a minute and a half. No, that was a lot quicker than I expected. Normally these numbers are higher too, so the higher your number, the faster to count. And as you can
Josh,
see, go ahead. I was going to say, in your filter for these, you just have to come down and select slide story out of your filter. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Lastly, can I switch the folders to save the newest content at the top opposed to the bottom? I'm assuming that's in like the folder storage when they're.
So that should be alphabetical. I assume you mean in media here. That should be alphabetical. So see how it all goes alphabetical. So if you want something at the top, you would, name it with an A or a B. But everything in here should be alphabetical.
You said under the feed.
Oh, under the feed. So your feed is the last thing that's happened here. So your feed is looking at your most recent post. It will be in descending order. So newest will be first.
Let me get it spelling because he said, and then under custom. Like on the ones he's creating.
So custom is also alphabetical. This is all alphabetical. So everything should be that.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have it. We don't have like a sorting here. We just made it alphabetical.
Okay. And then the last question, is there currently an app for mobile devices?
So there is a mobile version.
On a computer.
Yeah, so we don't have like an app on the App Store or the Android Play Store, but it is mobile friendly. If you go to it within your mobile browser, you just go to scoreshots.com. It does have a mobile version of it within the web browser. It doesn't have all the features just because some features are really hard to do on mobile. In fact, it doesn't even allow video because video is really hard to do within that small of a screen. But there is a light version if you go to the website on your mobile phone within the browser. Like let's say if you just have Chrome on your phone, you can just go to scoreshots.com and it will load the mobile version.
Okay, I think that answered all of the questions. We have 4 people who came through. We're going to be checking your integrations, and then 1 will get accounting in touch with you. But yeah, gosh, Josh, wow, that came out weird. Glad you're able to join us and kind of cover those few things.
Yep.
Surprise guest for the day.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind.
Okay, well, I hope everyone has a good week, and hopefully we'll be seeing you at our 4th webinar here 3 weeks from today. Thank you.